Okay, we're going to draw the question that was for homework. It's this one here. Just a quick thing to note, if you read the question, it says it's made up of 25 mil blocks. That means that each of these squares is 25 by 25. So the length of this side here is 125, and if we count the blocks, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 5 25s, that's 125. If we look at the height of it, there's 1, 2, 3, 4 blocks. So with each of these being 25 high, that makes up the 100. Okay. So we're going to start off by drawing our isometric block or square that each side will fit into, our isometric block. Okay, so we start off and we come down. I'll just zoom back out there. We come down our sheet. All the time making sure our t-square is tight to the side of our board and our set square sits on top of it. Now we need to start off drawing this, we need to draw what we call our crow's foot, which is our 30-degree angle. Now this is our 60 degree set square. It has got 90 degrees here at the top, it's got 60 degrees here, and it's got 30 degrees. This is the angle we want. So we start off and we draw our crow's foot, which is our 30-degree line going back like that and like that. And we'll draw our vertical line here. Now I'm drawing them a little bit heavier. You need to draw these lines lightly. I'm drawing them a little bit heavier just to make sure that you can see them on the screen. Now I come back 125. All these lines you should be drawing lightly, by the way. And so 125 measured along there, and I draw my vertical line there. And then it's a 100 from the bottom, the point of my crow's foot there, up 100 there, and that's that side drawn. Now, when I'm drawing all these lines, if they're not appearing parallel, that means something is wrong. Is it that my t-square is not sitting tight to the board? Or is it that my set square is not sitting tight on top of my t-square at all times? T-square tight to the board, set square sitting on top of it. All these lines that were drawn should be parallel. So if I take a look at my drawing, it tells me that the width of my box, or the width of my object, it goes back 50 mil. That's 225 blocks. So I'm going to measure back 50. And draw my line vertically. And then from this point here, go back 30 degrees. Now, really important that you check and you're sure that you're drawing with your 30-degree angle all the time. Don't mix it up with the 60 degrees because that'll give us an odd kind of shape. So this angle here all the time. So you're all the time taking your set square and turning it one way to draw the 30-degree line there. And then turn it to draw the 30-degree line the other way. And the only other line that we're really drawing at the minute is a vertical line. So vertical line, 30 degrees, 30 degrees. Okay, I'm just going to put an extra bit of tape on my sheet because it's sliding up a little bit. Now, I need to divide up this side into my 25 mil blocks. So I set up my t-square there like that, and I measure 25, 50, 75, 100, and then 125. And all those marks are on the line. All those little marks I've just made. So now I'm just going to draw those lines vertically. Now these should be drawn lightly on your page. Like I say, I have to draw them heavier just to make sure that they come up clear on the screen. But you should be drawing all those lines nice and lightly. Now on this side here, I'm going to divide up my 100 edge into 25s. So that's 25 there. And it's along the line. All the marks are on the line. Another 25 is 50. Another 25 is 75. And those lines all go back at 30 degrees. Now again, is my t-square tight to the board? Carry that line back. Is my set square sitting tight on top of my t-square? Very, very important. Now, there's my grid. And onto my grid now, I can start drawing and finishing my shape. So what have I got here? I have, just on this front side, just to make things a little bit clearer for us, I have vertical line here, which is from here, and I'm starting off drawing at this point here. Look, that's where I started off. So I come up one block and I come over one block, and then that goes the whole way up to the top, and it comes across 2 blocks across the top here, and down 3 on this side, and I'm just using the marker just to heavy it in. You shouldn't be using the marker, you should just heavy in with your pencil, lean a little bit more on your pencil. So on my grid line, I'm just following my grid now, and I'm drawing what I see on the front into my isometric square on the side. Just line it off a little bit there, just try and tidy it up a little bit. Okay, so there is what I see on that side. Now, what we need to do next is we need to carry our lines across here and draw what we see on the side. Now on the side, actually what I'll do first, I'm going to divide this side up into my 25mm blocks as well. So there's my 25, that line comes up, and I'm going to carry that line over the top, and then all of this side can be divided up as well. And I can carry, I don't need to measure them again because I have all these marks here already, and they all get carried back. And again, if these lines aren't looking parallel, something's wrong, something is off. So all my lines should be running back like that. Now, what do I see when I look at it on this side? Well, off my drawing, and I'm just going to heavy it in, I'm going to see that edge there, and it's 1 block high. So that edge there continues back like that. So I'm just heavying in those lines now. What do I see on the top? I see that area there, that little flat part there on the top, and it's 2 blocks by 2 blocks back, so that's 2 by 2. So now I can heavy that in. And I have the grid lines drawn already, so I'm just heavying them in with my felt pen and across the back. Now, at this stage here, there's something, I have all my measurements in, what I see in each view are drawn in. Now there's a little bit of detail to be added in here. So that's the last part, that's the last thing to do. What we need to do is, let's have a look at this point here. Let's take that and go back at 30 degrees. And let's turn our 60 degree set square along and return it back on that side. Now that's going to give us, if I can just heavy that in now, this little flat portion here. Okay, and where does that go? That little flat part there, it runs the whole way up to here. So I turn my set square around and I T-square tight, set square on the T-square, and I draw a vertical line right up to that corner there. And that completes that side of it for me. Now, something's happening on the back corner there. So if I bring that line back at 30 degrees, now really that line at the back runs at that level the whole way through, and we just see where it meets on the corner there. So we can heavy that line in, that runs back, and there's my view complete. Line your page, put your name on the sheet, isometric drawing homework, put the date on it. there's our drawing complete. Couple of things you can do if you just want to finish it off. You can actually draw the squares onto each side. So that line there comes up there, and it actually carries across there, and that will give you the squares on the surface of each side. And then that line is up there, which we have. But the squares on the surface here return there and there, and that's it. A little bit more here actually. That line just goes back there like that. So that's actually just drawn on our blocks, which is not necessary, but just you can do that if you like. A little bit of light shading, and there's our drawing complete.